What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mind Hiking Podcast. I'm your host, Brody Frye, and today we got a cool-ass episode for you. This one, I've been trying to get Devin on for quite some time. He's a little on the shy side, but this episode, he did one hell of a job, so it would be really cool if you showed him some support, because he did great, and I think this episode turned out awesome, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. He had a lot of fun, and he's definitely somebody that I'm going to have back on the podcast too, because he's a smart kid and he's going places. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and without further ado, stay tuned. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Brody Frye, and here we dive deep into difficult questions. We'll map out thoughts, theories, and crazy ideas for the love of knowledge and growth. So, how do we answer some of the mind's toughest questions? This is the Mind Hiking Podcast. Three, two, one. We are up. Devin, welcome to the podcast. Hello. I've been asking you for a while and finally got you out here. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a longtime fan. Always kind of wanted to be here. Just always been a bit too nervous.
Yeah. You feel famous?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, hopefully this will make you famous soon. Right. I'm hoping for that too. Also, don't mind the dog noises. He's Baron's partying in here with us, so... Yeah, there's the tail going. Baron, easy, buddy. I was just saying, there's no way to win. It's like if we lock them out of the room, then they start whining. If we leave them in here, then this happens. So good thing you don't mind dogs. Baron, come here. Hey, easy. All right, so we are drinking some, actually, I'm going to crack this, just so, take a guess, listeners. Ooh. Oh, that was actually pretty good. For a non-alcoholic, that actually sounded pretty delicious. Yeah, it is mug root beer in some fancy glasses. So, cheers. Fuck yeah. All right. Oh, also, I know you already bought a couple of these, but just as a little thank you, I'm going to give you some freebies.
Hell yeah. Mind
Hiking Podcast stickers. There's a laminate. I'll get you a reflective one just to take home as
now I feel famous.
Yeah, there you go. And I also got the hats I was telling you about. Those ones I'm selling these ones. I'm super proud of them. They're awesome. And I got them right here. But that's it.
Those look sick.
Yeah, I was saying too, so they call it Loden green. And it's like a army kind of almost a foresty olive green, but it's a leather patch, laser engraved, but the leather is actually bison leather. So they're expensive, but they're freaking so cool looking. I love them. They turned out awesome. But yeah, I told you this earlier at work, and you had a funny story about a bison, or was it a bison or a buffalo?
I don't entirely remember the difference, but
okay.
When I was younger, I traveled a lot around the U.S. with my grandma. When we road tripped everywhere, never took planes.
Yeah.
And so one time on our way to South Dakota, we were by like a bison farm.
Uh-huh.
And one just walked over, and I had my window down at the time, and it just walked up, stuck his head in the window, and started licking my face.
Jeez, yeah, that's great. How old were you then?
Between 5 and 7.
Gotcha.
So I mean, I was having the time of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
My grandma was losing it.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, she's like trying to smash the head in the window, trying to roll it up.
Yeah, I remember her trying to roll up the window, but Bison was just having a good time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You mind just scooching that mic a little bit closer to you? A little quiet. Sorry. All right. Sweet. We're good. Fuck yeah. Yeah, no, that's a crazy story. You always see like funny videos of like llamas and animals just like sticking their heads in car windows, and like the girlfriend is just like freaking out, and they're like, oh god. But yeah, no, it's wild. Again, I was showing you too my neighbor. He's getting that Mustang, just got in an accident, but you got yourself a Mustang too. You want to tell me about it?
It's a 2002 Mustang GT with a 5-speed. It's got about 120,000 miles, and it's my pride and joy.
Yes, your baby girl. It's awesome. I thought it was like a 2005 actually.
My truck was a 2005.
Oh, okay. When did they switch to when did they switch body styles for the Mustang? Wasn't it 2006? They changed it to the
I believe it was '05.
'05. Okay.
Yeah, my body style goes from 99 to '04.
Gotcha. What kind of motor's in that thing?
It's a 4.6 2-valve for my specific one, but the new Edge, they had like a weird 2 different body styles and like 2 different motors.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, for like a few years they had the 5-liter out of the Fox body.
Okay. Huh. What is your favorite body style of the Mustangs?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'd have to put like a top 3.
Okay.
I mean, I love mine.
Yeah. Okay,
It's
what's your
just-
top 2? I'm going to
Either the new Edge or the Fox body.
Okay.
They're just, the classics are great.
Okay, gotcha. What's your favorite motor?
The Coyote.
Coyote, yeah.
I love the way it screams.
Yeah. Okay, well, how about this? What's your favorite motor in general? Not just Ford, not just American Muscle, just like in general. That's a tough one because you got to know what it's going to be used for, kind of thing.
Okay, then yeah, like what type of racing?
Drag racing.
Drag racing?
Hey. Just kidding.
I don't know.
Not that drag racing.
I'd go with the 7.3 Godzilla.
Okay.
I follow a guy on YouTube who has one of those, and they're pretty sweet.
Yeah, dang, that's cool. I don't know much about those. What is it?
It's the
Is it-
new gas motor and the Super Duties.
Oh yeah, that's right. I
Yeah,
do remember seeing
they're
that.
pretty sweet.
I forgot about that.
It's a 7.3 liter pushrod V8.
Shit. Damn, that's fucking cool. Okay, what is your favorite muscle car in general? Like, not just Mustang, or is it the Mustang?
It's probably Mustang.
Probably the Mustang.
It used to be Camaros when I was a kid, but I kind of leaned
Yeah.
more into Ford just because I like how they're trying to be more innovative. unlike
Yes, exactly. If you had like infinite money, what would be like? You can't really choose, but like, give me a top 3 of your favorite cars ever made.
Chevy. Like a Mustang, any Mustang really.
Yeah,
I've really been liking Subarus lately, so
They're
maybe
cool.
like
they're really cool.
an older Subaru like STI WRX.
That'd be awesome. Dude, that's actually Jeremy Lesser. I've had him on the podcast many times. He's in love with those things. That's like one of his favorite cars too.
Yeah.
They're so cool. Especially because Ken Block and Travis Pastrana racing Subarus.
Yeah.
Actually, Ken Block towards the end there, he was on a Focus. Or a Fiesta. Was he in?
He's in for Hoonigan right now. I believe he's driving Audis.
He actually passed away from a snowmobiling accident.
I'm thinking of Travis Pastrana. That's my bad.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I didn't know Travis was driving an Audi.
Yeah, I believe
Oh,
it's
shit.
it's an all-wheel drive Audi, obviously, and it's
Damn.
electric, and it's called the Hoonatron, like
What?
the Hoonicorn.
Damn, I didn't know that.
It's
Fuck.
pretty sweet.
That's cool. Dang, I thought he was like Subaru for life. That's wild. Dang. Yeah, and then Ken Black. That's a horrible tragedy. He, have you ever watched some of his YouTube videos?
A little. I
They're insane.
never really got into like the Gymkhana stuff, but I just I followed the Hoonigan YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I like watching their This Versus That series where it's just drag racing cars.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's really cool.
They just like.
They have an airstrip, or they had one in Australia where it was also on an airstrip.
Uh-huh.
And then they just released one where it's like a dirt drag strip with like jumps and stuff.
Okay,
It's pretty sweet.
dang. So they just like throw random vehicles.
Yeah, like they had a whole series called Hoonicorn versus the World where they literally just had the Hoonicorn up against like
Anything.
turboed F-150s, like Lamborghinis,
Jeez.
just everything you can think of. It probably raced it.
Dang, that's insane. What was that vehicle you were telling me about? Like, I think it was like a few weeks back. You were talking about something that somebody put some or a Tesla.
Another guy I know on YouTube called Rich Rebuilds. He is trying to build a dually turbo diesel Tesla right now, but he's having like EPA problems.
Oh, okay.
But then before that, he built a rear-wheel drive, stick shift, LS powered Tesla, and he brought it to SEMA.
That's awesome.
It was pretty sweet.
Dang, I bet people freaking love that.
Yeah.
Have you been to SEMA? You want to go?
I would love to. Well, I love cars, but I don't really go to car shows or anything
Oh, really?
like that often.
You go to Chicago Auto Show?
I've been once, and I went to it last year, and it was honestly pretty boring. It was
Yeah.
like all commuter cars or electric cars.
Oh,
It just
jeez.
wasn't my thing.
Yeah, I've gone a couple times. I feel like it's going downhill though.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because it's like
Cars are starting to be more of like a just get A to B thing, and like
Yep.
all the soul is gone.
Yeah, right. Because they kind of have to be because of the government just like pinching down on them. Where it's like, yeah, like back after like World War II, people, coming back from war and just being like, just loving to tinker with things. And they had so much free time after World War II. And they're just like, everybody just loved like slapping shit together. And that's when all this American muscle started happening and just like building rat rods and shit like that. And there was no like EPA government regulations. And it was just like fucking burn as much fuel as you possibly can. Make things as
nice
fast.
leaded fuel.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it used to be. And now it's like the government's just like, maybe this is a problem. I don't know. We're not here to say yes or no to that, but we definitely miss that.
Yeah.
Miss those cool rat rods and stuff. I always loved like the 34 Fords. They're like super popular for the rat rods, like chop the roof and stuff like that. And
those are pretty sweet.
those are awesome. I remember back in high school, I in Woods class, I made a model 34 Ford, like with the little wood wheels, and it actually rolled. I made that. It's just like a bunch of different things, actually. A bunch of glued together wood cut up on the bandsaw, and then I had to like hand cut the flares and just like glued those on. It was kind of a cool project. Did you ever take woods?
I took woods. I don't entirely remember what I made in woods, but
Yeah.
like your car project in middle school, I was in a STEM program where I got to like 3D print and like make a car from the ground up.
That's awesome.
So
Damn.
my grandpa used to have an old Jaguar, so I tried to make one of those for him.
Damn, that's cool. Yeah, I feel like that school's changed a lot because like, how many years has it? I think we're probably looking at like 7 years. So you graduated from the same high school I went to. Like, what year did you graduate in?
23? Or I graduated 2 years ago.
2 years ago. So 21 or 22?
Yeah,
21? Okay. Yeah. And I graduated in 16. Actually, I graduated technically in 15 because I graduated a semester early. But, yeah, I feel like that school has changed quite a bit since I left there. Because we didn't have any 3D printers. I remember my senior year, we got a CNC router for the wood shop. And it was so cool. It took up a lot of space. I was like, whoa, where are you even going to put this thing? But it was cool. I got to use it on one project, but it was awesome.
Did you ever get to use the laser cutter?
No.
They have a laser cutter.
What?
It's sweet.
That's awesome. Holy shit. Damn.
Yeah, you just make a little model on a CAD thing and it just cuts it out.
That is insane. The one thing that sucked is they never had a metals class, metal shop.
When I was in autos, they obviously didn't have a metals class, so for like a week or two we did welding, and
That's
so I
cool.
learned like the basics of MIG welding, and that was about it. But
That's cool.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah, there wasn't even that. Like I took woods and small engines, and I actually didn't take autos. I wish I did, but I did. I spent most of the time in woods class. I did 3 years of woods class, and I don't know why I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I started off like my freshman year I thought I wanted to be an engineer, and I tried the engineering classes, and it wasn't really my speed, and it was right next to the autos class.
Oh yeah.
And I was always like peeking in there.
Yeah, and you
trying to
hear
find
like
stuff.
the pneumatic guns going off, like freaking NASCAR pit stop over there, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, so like after freshman year, I dropped everything engineering, went straight into like autos.
Yeah.
Just I did every single class I could.
You're a big car guy. You
It's pretty much my only hobby.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, and literally like you come home to your racing sim too, right?
Pretty much.
So when did you get that?
Sometime last winter.
Okay, and what does it have? Like what kind of setup is it? Like
It's like a folding stand,
Okay.
and it has a 6-speed shifter. It has a steering wheel, and then it has all 3 pedals, the gas, brake, clutch, and then if I want to, some games support it. I can put on a VR headset
oh, that's cool.
and be driving with the wheel, which is also it's a force feedback.
Oh,
so if like you hit
cool.
bumps, you feel it.
Oh, that's cool. Dang.
It's so much fun.
What, you mind if I ask what that cost?
Altogether, it was like $350, $400
That's not bad.
without the VR. The VR was like another $350.
Oh, okay, gotcha. What VR is it? It's just like is it like an Oculus or something?
Yeah, it's a Oculus Quest 2.
Oh, cool. Gotcha. I didn't know if it was like for your specific computer or whatever. What kind of because this is PC, right?
Yeah.
What kind of computer do you use?
I just have a pre-built PC.
Oh.
It was like it runs on AMD.
Okay.
So I know that much about it.
Yeah.
I don't really know much about
you
computers.
know more than me. I was just seeing trying to dig for whatever information I could.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What's your favorite game on it right now?
Honestly, I haven't been playing much like racing sim games now that I actually like have a car to go drive. That's fun.
That's true. Yeah, you don't need the sim anymore.
Yeah, I just drive.
Yeah.
But I've been playing Payday 3 just came out. It's like a bank heist game that's really
Okay.
fun.
Oh yeah, I did see that actually.
And then besides that,
Baldur's Gate.
yeah, Baldur's Gate. I haven't been able to find free time to play it, but that game is so much fun.
Yeah, we've just got that like a week or so ago. I've brought it up on the podcast before, and I just never got around to playing it until like this week. Actually, I played it for the first time, and dude, it's different. It's at first I was like, how do you even do this? What are we even doing, kind of thing? And then like you start playing around. It takes a bit to like get used to, because it's like it is weird, but I like it because like once you get used to like the fighting style and stuff like that, I mean, I guess it's like anything where it starts to come naturally, and then you get into the story and you get into like, I don't know, you start getting into it, and it's like, it's cool. Like once you get a rhythm for how the fighting works, because I think the fighting was the hardest thing for me, because it's like, I didn't really understand like how to like jump, because it's literally like D&D where you're like playing every character like as if you were doing D&D.
I mean, like I'd always been super interested in D&D, but I'd never played it. So when Baldur's Gate came out, it took a lot of getting used to, but like it was kind of like my love for Pokemon as a kid. It's just like the next best version.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like Pokemon for adults.
Yeah, literally. No, it's awesome. It's so cool. Yeah, we do D&D. I've talked about that too, and it's a blast. And yeah, literally, like anybody that like has anything to say negatively about it has never done it before. And like I've had Doug on the podcast, and he talks about it too, where he tries to get his buddies in, and they're like, oh no, fuck that shit, and then like they'll just be hanging out, and then he'll start saying like, so like you're in a forest or whatever, and like lays out this scene, and then just like starts playing like, what do you do next? And then they're just like, and then they start playing, and then he's like, oh, what am I doing? And he's like, dude, you're playing it. That's literally how it is, and you are enjoying it too. But it's just fun. We just have some drinks and play D&D, and it's just fun. I feel like people that talk negatively just have never tried it before.
Yeah, D&D's definitely making a comeback. Like
big time.
Right before I was done with high school, there was a D&D club at my school. So, and then like my brother, he's in middle school right now.
D&D club, that's freaking awesome.
And he has a D&D club.
At our high school?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's
awesome.
Like
D&D's making a pretty big comeback.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Dang, what was it called? Did it have a cool name?
Just D&D club.
Oh, I didn't know if it was just like, what's that one from Stranger Things? Hellfire Club, is that it?
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah, did you ever watch that show?
I loved it. Every second of it.
It's awesome. I know they're having like writer's strike and like actor strike bullshit going on now, but they're gonna be like 35 years old before they film the next one.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, I think the age difference between like the last time they were like, the characters they're playing are so like don't look like their age. They got like 5 o'clock shadows, and they're playing teenagers.
Yeah.
It's like that's not right.
Yeah, I feel like with a show like Stranger Things, especially when you have they have such a like so far in the future view of it, like they should have tried to film it faster.
Right, yeah, get that shit like accomplished before beards started growing in. Yeah. They started they're like playing teenagers with receding hairlines. Oh, jeez. Oh, sorry. That was my knee. Yeah, but back to the high school thing too. Like, there's been a lot. Cause I don't think we had 3D printers either when we were there, but there's been more than like just machinery and stuff like that that's changed in the high school. I feel like kind of the whole mindset has changed too with the whole.
Yeah.
Think you know where I'm going there. The
I don't know
whole
where you're
elevator thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Where what were you thinking? Where are you going to take us?
Oh, I was just going to say, like, the high school we went to, before I went there, it was always known as, like, the best of the best in our local area to
Yep.
send your kid, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of meh.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, cuz it was like the preppy school when I was
Yeah.
growing up. It was a very clean. It was the newest one in the area, so it's like clean and the preppy school or whatever. But
Yeah, and now people are shitting in the elevators.
yeah, taking shits in the elevators because they identify as cats.
Mm-hmm.
How bad? So I never got to see any of that. I heard stories of it, and how bad did it get? Did you ever have to experience anything like that?
I never did, but, like, there's so many just weird stories that I've heard.
Okay.
Like, another school in our area, someone managed to steal a whole entire toilet out of the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't know how
And-
you would do that.
They also managed to not get caught.
Yeah, isn't there cameras?
Yeah, everywhere.
Did they not like what? They like wearing Do you know who did it?
I don't know who did it, but all I know is that they got the toilet, got it out the building, and just dumped it in a random neighborhood.
Jesus! Oh my God! They should have done like fingerprints or something. Oh jeez! I won't. That's insane to me. How do you sneak a toilet? Why would you want to do that?
At the time, it was.
Like a
Do you remember like
senior
the whole
prank?
devious lick thing on TikTok?
No.
It was a giant trend on TikTok a few years ago where like people would just steal random shit from places for no
Okay.
reason,
Gotcha.
and that's why like that happened.
Okay.
Just that people started stealing a ton of stuff from
It
the
was like
schools.
try to see who could steal the biggest thing.
Yeah, it became like a really big problem. Like
Damn.
at our school, some people started like stealing the doors off of bathrooms.
Oh shit!
It was pretty bad.
Damn. Fuck. But the toilet was probably the best one you heard of.
By far.
Okay, yeah. Oh, jeez, that's insane. I'm still like trying to wrap my mind around like how many people do you think?
I mean, school toilets they look pretty hefty.
Yeah,
They're
they
heavy
look.
duty.
Yeah, so when we redid that house, we flipped that house out in Rockford and we replaced the toilet as well, and they're not fucking light. they're not easy to lift out. Oh, that's a good pour. Feel free to take some of that too.
All right.
But I poured into the mic actually. Fuck, that's damn.
I feel like I should be an audio engineer.
Yeah,
Fuck.
fucking mug commercial there. Damn, Mug Root Beer sponsor the podcast. Fuck, who makes Mug? Is that their own
I
brand?
think it's
right?
Pepsi.
Is it? Mugrootbeer.com.
Or, yeah, I think it's Pepsi.
Ball.
Probably some mega corporation.
Yeah, Ball. I think the jar company. Fuck. Well, that was a fucking delicious sounding pour. That's one hell of a soda right there.
It is.
Do you say soda or pop?
I say soda.
Soda? Oh, okay. Yeah, I do both. I think I feel like I say pop more, but I want to say soda more because I feel like it sounds cooler.
It definitely like rolls off the tongue
Yeah,
better.
soda. I feel like I'm pretty sure JJ says something. Oh yeah, that's what it is. So we've had this conversation too. He does both. He calls it soda pop.
I feel like that's like the secret. Like
Yeah.
no one likes that answer.
Yeah, I think that's like you got the two types of people in the world. One of them's soda, one of them's pop, and the one that says both. You don't talk to that guy.
Pretty much.
I'm just kidding, Jay. I know you're listening. He's gonna be looking at me right now when he's listening. He's gonna be looking at you too now. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Fuck. World is changing. That's for sure. I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast today, and they were kind of talking about that, like how much movies have changed too. Like comedies from like back in the 90s, early 2000s, like the shit they would talk about that you could never get away with nowadays.
Yeah.
Like there's so much offensive shit that people, oh God, it's It was insane. Like if you watch like old comedies, like it's like I don't know if you have seen
Like
any.
Sam
Like,
Kinison.
oh yeah, he's fucking good. I'm surprised you know that name.
Well, I listen to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh shit, he's on there.
He's not on
Oh
there,
no,
but he talks
he
about it a
died
lot.
actually a long time ago. I feel like he died like
Probably like early
in the
2000s.
80s.
Or I don't know. I don't know. the timeline
I know
of
he's
Sam Kinison.
yeah. I don't know. Fuck that. Chris Farley too. He passed away, but he is awesome. I feel like one of my favorite comedians of all time was Steve Martin.
I don't think I know Steve Martin.
Really? Yeah. Oh shit! Yeah, he was on Saturday Night Live. He did the King Tut like that. Yeah, okay. Freaking so funny. Yeah, he was in a bunch of really good old comedies. None of them were like. I feel like he was so big and so popular because he wasn't offensive and he didn't like cross any lines like that. So he like is a timeless comedian. Mm-hmm. Where like he was just good. He was a good, solid comedian, and he didn't like he didn't like do anything that could be considered questionable in the future. You know, it was just like good, pure comedy. Like he was just naturally a funny guy, and he's awesome. He was in so many good movies, and like not just good movies because it wasn't just dumb comedy. He was like in good, meaningful, quality movies. Like one of my favorites is My Blue Heaven. I don't know if you've heard of that. Freaking good ass movie. Story is awesome, but it's also a comedy, and then there's like The Jerk is a good one. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is awesome. You know,
that sounds familiar.
Okay, that one's funny too because they're basically playing like people trying to rip rich people off for money, and the whole time there's like a gentleman's bet going on behind the scenes about who can. It's like this. It's an awesome movie, so definitely check that one out. But yeah, there's so many freaking good movies. But then there's like movies that like cross lines that aren't, you know, they're still classics and they're awesome. Like but they're just like, they don't hold up because they crossed lines. Like, it's the podcast I was actually listening to. They talk about Ace Ventura. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen that movie? I actually never have.
Really?
Yeah.
I believe I've seen the first one, but I know I've seen the second one.
Yeah.
But it's really funny.
Yeah, it sounds funny the way they talk about it, but like I guess it's like super like transphobic or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Again, I've never seen the movie, but that's what they were saying, and how like a lot of the woke culture came after them because it was an offensive movie. And then there's movies like old ones like Porky's and Revenge of the Nerds is another one. Again, really old. I don't even know when these, probably early 90s, late 2000, probably late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in there, I'd imagine. I really don't know. But again, they were like super fucking rapey. Like there's like, and back then I think it was just like normal. It was like not wrong back then, but like it's just like a bunch of sex. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of dirty sex back then. It's just like I feel like it's just like not, I don't know. It's just like acceptable, I guess, and people just laughed at it. But nowadays it's like, dude, that's somebody's fucking daughter. You know, it's like it's not cool anymore. It's not funny, but I should have done that in the mic too. Damn it. But yeah, no, times have changed, dude. It's wild. I think a lot of it, I don't know if it's for the better or not either, because I think people tiptoe around too much now.
It feels like, especially in like the famous people, you know, like everyone's always trying to bring up old dirt about people, but most of the time the people that they bring up the dirt about, they've like changed, you know?
Yeah.
Like Marky Mark.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Marky Mark was famously a very big racist, but I definitely feel like he's probably changed.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like everybody, I mean, the only constant is change. We're always all changing. So it's like, you're not even the same person, like even physically, like they say every 7 years your body is completely different than it was 7 years ago, because every cell in your body has been replaced, died, fallen off, or been replaced and out your system somehow, some way. Whether it falls off your skin, you poop it out or pee it out. Like your body is completely replaced every 7 years, and there is no reason why that isn't the same thing for your mind too, because you're experiencing things and just constantly changing, growing, and learning, especially with the times. And back then, like I said, it was different. And if that was acceptable back then that was socially acceptable. And then 20 years later, it's not acceptable, and then they bring up stuff like, oh, you used to say this kind of thing. That's got to be tough for famous people. I
feel like people are always trying to point fingers.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like a lot of like, what I don't understand is why politics have to be brought into like everything, even if it's big corporations. Like, why do people look for reasons to like bash companies, like, oh, you must be a right-wing radical redneck or whatever because you said or did one of the employees tweeted something or something. Like, why is it such little minute shit? Like, why can't you have a company where like you have differing opinions politically all working for just one company? Why can't we all just like get along? Why do we have to bring politics into, first of all, the workplace, and second of all, like the foundation of a corporation?
I feel with politics, everything is always like, people are always so against each other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get why with politics it's always like one against the other.
Yeah.
Or like, especially recently with our most recent presidential candidates.
Yeah.
Everyone's always like one or the other.
Yep.
And if you're on one side, you're evil. If you're on the other side, you're evil. But I find that stupid. Like,
yep.
In real life, in like day-to-day life, who you vote on isn't gonna terribly affect your life. Like,
right.
Your house isn't gonna burn down based on who you vote for.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
You're not gonna burst into flames. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy to me. It's like, it's not that big. Everybody, we've all experienced different things and we all have differing opinions. It's like, you're not gonna socially ostracize somebody because we're sitting here drinking root beer and one of the listeners doesn't like root beer. It's not, so it's like, why, what's any different about like any political views or whatever? Like, why can't we all just accept we're all slightly different variants of humans and just move on? Why can't we just like figure this shit out and at the very least leave politics out of like businesses? Because it's like, I feel like people completely, it's like the whole Bud Light thing that happened. Yeah. Like, people hated on Bud Light so hard because like they were supposed to be like, drinking beer, like hard-working Americans kind of thing. And then that whole thing happened, and it's like, I don't know.
People just need to be nicer.
I drank a lot of Bud Light on the podcast, and people gave me so much shit for it. And I'm like, honestly, beer is beer, and it's all shitty beer. It's all just light shitty beer, and it's fine. They're all close enough in taste. Like, I can drink any of them. They're all close enough in taste. It's all the same fucking thing. And so what? Like, so what if one employee or somebody made a decision that they regretted, or maybe they don't even regret it. So what? It's like, it's nothing as far as the product changed. It's just an ideology of like, why does a company, and it's not even the company as a whole, but like, why does an individual in the company, their opinion or beliefs change the way you look at a product? It doesn't make sense to me, because the product's the same. That never changed. Yeah. And you'd been drinking it that long, and that person's been working for that company for how long, and so what?
I just feel like politics are way too involved in everything now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
everyone, or especially with like big companies, it's like they're always just trying to get their grubby little hands on
Yep.
more money.
Yeah.
So they'll just vote whoever gives them more money in. When
Yep.
it shouldn't be about money. It should be about who is a better person.
Yeah.
Or who's going to do more.
They need to get money out of politics. We need to have people that actually serve, because politicians are greedy. We need to have people that are actually willing to serve, so they're in there for the right reasons, not for the money. Because then you get pure, real leaders, not paid off puppets.
Yeah, like I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast recently.
Yeah.
And he was making some of those points, or he was saying a lot of that, and he was saying like somewhere around the income of the president is roughly like $400,000, but they're almost always like multi-millionaires by the time they're out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which it shouldn't be that way.
No, it shouldn't. Yeah, and who knows where all that money's coming from, because it's not, you get, the president is making $400,000 a year. That's what they get paid, but
by the time they're done, they have like over 100 million.
Yeah, and plus all the I'm sure there's all sorts of tax benefits and loopholes and fucking, and not just the president, but the president I'm not even as concerned about, because it's like 4 years, and if they get elected a second time, another 4 years, so what? Then they're out of there. They got a limited time. The problem is the lifer politicians.
Yeah.
The people that are fucking like on their deathbed, 80 years old, and still making decisions that affect the country. Go ahead.
The way I feel about that is like everyone always, like no one ever wants to put someone young into office or like in a position of power because they assume they're going to be too young and naive.
Yeah.
But all we're doing is voting in the same old people who are doing the same dumb shit.
Yep.
And we're not getting anywhere.
Because it's comfortable. That's why. Because people are comfortable and people don't like change. People get scared of the unknown. They don't want to change what, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And even if it's broke, don't fix it because it's different. I feel like that's where we're at right now.
With every generation, everything changes.
Yeah.
But we're keeping all of the same people in their places,
right,
and nothing's changing.
Yeah, it's insane. And I feel like anytime they try to change anything, or they if anything wants to get changed or happens to start getting changed, it's like, these are different times, we got to change these things, but they don't remove the old laws that don't apply or shouldn't be in place anymore. So it's like they have all the old, laws in place, and all they're doing is tacking on or adding on more. And it's just like over the years, more restriction. And slowly over time, we're slowly like filed down and losing our freedoms, losing what we're allowed to do. And it's like, I feel like the world's never going to be a perfect place. There's always going to be people getting hurt, and that's life. There's always going to be bad things in the world. There's always going to be bad people in the world, poor decisions. But like punishing the remainder of the people, I still believe is wrong, just because there's a couple bad eggs out there,
Yeah, it feels like a lot of laws they're made because of the outlier, not because of the whole.
Right. That's a great way to put it. That's very smart of you. But yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, you're making decisions for the great of the one rather than the great of the many.
Yeah.
So it's a goofy thing, and it's tough to change because it is a massive machine, and there's so many systems in place that need to, like, so many gears and cogs that need a turn to get one thing accomplished, which is good because it's kind of like a checks and balances. So like if some extremist comes in on either side, an extremist comes in, because I think extremes on either side is not a good thing. You need the checks and balances, the balance. But if like an extremist on either side comes in and wants to just rapidly change everything, they can't, because there's like all these checks and balances, all these systems that these processes that need to happen to get things changed, which is a good thing. But again, as far as we've come with like this disaster of a country, it's hard like it is to change it. It takes a fuck ton of time. I mean, this has been a disaster for a long time, but again, to reverse that, and not just to reverse that, but like, it's like trying to slow down a really long, heavy train. So it's like, not only we're going down a bad path, but it's like, not only do we need to slow this thing down, we also need to stop it. And then we need to use energy to try to reverse it and go back. So it's like, and especially with you understanding motors and engines and stuff, you know, like torque and how much energy it like first gear takes, and just like trying to like start, how much energy it takes to start things in motion. And it's the same thing with running a country with a lot of people.
I feel like with politics, especially like right now, everything is always so negative with politics, and it's always like this side versus the other. I feel like the main problem is that there are sides. There shouldn't really be sides.
Yeah.
You should just vote for what you want.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point too, because I feel like a lot of people can't even see that as a possibility. It's like, if you have one idea, you're labeled as a Democrat or a Republican, and or whatever. There's a few other labels, but like, it's interesting how you get labeled something specific for having a one specific idea. Like, why can't you just like agree on a certain few? Like, I never really liked that. Like, when you register to vote, you have to register as a Republican or a Democrat. And it's like, why do you have to register as one or the other? Like, why can't I just be an American and vote, you know?
I feel like as long as there's teams and sides, it's always going to be one versus the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not how it should be.
It's not. I think, like, I don't know if it's like a human thing, but I feel like we are kind of like created for like war.
We're tribal people.
You
go back like 100 years ago and we're still living in tents.
Literally, yeah.
Or like 200 years.
How much we've, it hasn't been that long of a time, and yeah, we've changed quite a bit.
We've changed so much in so little time, and we're expecting everyone to be ready for it when most people just aren't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's insane, because it's basically like war, but like almost not
it's
even
war without the consequences.
Yeah, it's like more. I don't even know if it's more civilized, because you're just ripping and tearing apart like people's livelihood and emotions. It's like, what's worse, like just like slaughtering somebody's body or slaughtering somebody's livelihood, and it's like people just tear apart, like, especially like if you're running for something like presidency, like the public just comes at you and just like destroys you and your family and everybody around you. It's insane, like the way media just manipulates and controls, and if you're not in on that in group, then you're going down, kind of thing.
Yeah. And then like with news or whatever, half the time it's not even like true what they're saying.
Oh yeah.
That's like, I don't really like politics. I don't really like watching the news or anything, just because so much is, you have to fact check everything.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's insane. So there's mixed emotions for me about, like, I know a lot of people hate TikTok and a lot of people love TikTok, but like for me, what I do enjoy about it is I love the free speech aspect. The problem with it is it's like Wikipedia, where anybody can put any sort of bullshit on there, and like somebody that has no fucking idea what they're talking about can say, holy shit, this is the way this is. And then everybody sees it and everybody believes it, but could be wrong information too. But the idea is hopefully the wrong information gets diluted and the right information surfaces to the top. And I feel like that's a better, because there's not going to be a perfect solution. I feel like that, like TikTok, getting information and news from TikTok where it's free speech and everybody collectively, is a better source of information, in true real information, than paid off news sources. There's some on both sides, but they speak similarly enough, and it's like either way they're just paid off and speaking like they can't speak truthfully. And not only that, but they got to change things to make it like family friendly kind of thing, especially being on air. So it's like, it's weird.
Why is news based on politics, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why can't I just hear about what's going on and not about, like, who's voting for what?
Yeah.
That, like,
Yep.
I would actually watch the news if I just heard, like, oh, this happened in your town today, or, like, this is the weather, and that was it. If that was it, I'd listen.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. At least I can go on TikTok and watch some, like, dirt bike videos and it'd be, like, actually dirt bike videos instead of, like, some like, and even with like, you can go start talking about the whole ads thing. It's like, then they start targeting you. And I mean, that's going to be the same everywhere, but like commercials on specific news stations, they're like targeting you. Like if you're watching something specific, like if you're watching the fishing channel, you're not going to get like fucking dildos. I don't know. And if you're watching QVC, you're not going to get like fishing lure ads. So it is funny. I don't know, but I guess that's the same everywhere. I mean, they're listening to us right now.
Yeah.
I got my watch on right here. So Siri talks to me a lot sometimes when I'm just sitting here. She'll just like start speaking and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize that you heard all that. Especially if I'm saying something fucked up.
I feel like everyone kind of likes Siri just because like it can be convenient, but the second Siri says something when you're not talking to her, everybody hates Siri.
Yeah. Same thing with I have more problems with the Alexa because we got one in the kitchen. Damn, dude, she freaking starts talking. It's the weirdest thing. Like we'll not even be in the kitchen. We'll just like be in the living room here talking or like watching a movie or something, and she'll like start talking to herself in there. And I'm like, what the fuck is?
I knew someone who actually had like the Google Dots, I think they're called. He had two of them and they were talking to each other.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Were they plotting?
I don't believe so.
What were they talking about?
I think they were just having like he tried to set them up to just like have a normal conversation.
Oh, so he was actually trying to get
them.
Huh.
Just to see what would happen.
Yeah, so what isn't it like, hey Google is how you start it off or whatever, and it's just like they both answer and then they start just going at each other?
I guess so.
That's so weird. Yeah, it's weird. They're always listening. It's weird that they're always listening because they're always listening for that keyword, the Alexa or Siri or whatever it is. Like, I gotta like check my watch, make sure she didn't hear that.
I've been super interested in this whole AI thing lately because I watch TikTok every now and then, and there's all these like the AI generated photos, and they look so real,
creepily,
or
real.
like AI generated voice things
in videos too. Oh yeah, the voice things too.
Like, all of it is so real, and it's all just it's creepy.
Yeah, you can't even tell what's real or not. Like there's
like
so many videos and shit.
Every now and then you'll just be like scrolling through TikTok, and every now and then something like news wise will pop up.
Yep.
And every now and then it's fake.
Yeah.
And you have to look it
and
up.
You don't know. Yeah.
Because it's like it looks like an exact real picture of something, or like it'll sound exactly like someone's voice, and it's all fake. That's
another major problem with the whole TikTok thing and the whole free speech thing. People can say what they want, but again, a worse problem would be to restrict that, and the idea behind it is just that stuff will fall to the bottom and the real stuff surfaces. But yeah, it is creepy with the AI stuff. Like you can't tell the difference. It's getting so good. Like you can't fucking tell what's real anymore.
Yeah.
It's like it's a weird world, but fuck dude, who even knows what's going to happen with that? Especially if they start like thinking like we're hurting the earth.
I saw a really good quote, or I heard a really good quote recently. I don't remember who said the quote, but it was that humans are like the sex organs of the technology world.
I've heard that too. Yeah, literally. Yeah, I mean we're just like reproducing brains and hands that can tinker away, build some machines, and next thing you know we die off, and then like our offspring just grows up and continues our work nonstop until AI is. But what if the Earth is actually one big brain, and all we are is just nerves, or like neurons? We're just firing, sending messages, and that's fucking weird.
Things like coral, they're classified as like a living thing, right?
Yeah.
So like wholly,
the
world would be a living organism, I feel.
Yeah. technically is. Yeah, and I think we're way more one system than we believe.
Yeah.
Like I think we're like all freaking one. Like it's weird to think. Like sometimes I'm like, what? You don't see a fucking tree like pull itself out of the ground and start walking around. And sometimes I like look at myself and I'm like, maybe we're closer to plants than we believe because we can't pull ourselves out of this earth and walk around. Yeah. And if we do, we're not going to be out there for long. We got a limited oxygen and everything. And it's like, I think we're more of one system than we believe. And there's an argument for that people say like, yeah, we're a closed loop system. The earth is just a closed loop system and you cannot leave. That I also, especially like when you start listening to the flat earther people, and it's just like, they say like it's one closed system and like all this stuff. I'm not going to get into that, but it can't be because we get solar energy basically is where I'm getting at. We're getting energy from the sun, like all the energy, the light and the energy we're getting from the sun. So that's enough proof that you need that if we're getting energy from an outside source, then we can't be a closed loop system. But it still makes you think.
I mean, we've left the earth.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it is weird. But again, like not for long. How far can we travel? I mean, we've sent stuff out like Voyager 1, fucking gone forever, way out there. Like, I think I saw not too long ago, it was like they like hooked up some communications just to check on it after like 15 years of radio silence, and it was able to spin around and take a photo of Earth one last time, like out past Pluto.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh, fuck, it was cool. I don't remember the details, but it is amazing, like in the vastness of like space and the universe. It's like, you know, I talk about this a lot, but there's more out there. It's got to be.
I feel like you have to be really close-minded to think there's nothing out there at all.
Literally, yeah,
there has to be something.
The vastness, dude. Even we can't even fucking. We're discovering new creatures all the time. We can't even discover. We don't even know what's in our oceans. And we're jumping to the conclusion that there's nothing out in space. We're the only ones. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
There's something else out there for sure. Wild universe we're living in, but we're making the most of it, doing the best we can. And I think somebody might have just got home because the dogs are getting horny. Mm-hmm. But that was a hell of an episode. I think we'll call it right there. So. All right. Thank you so much for hopping on. Cheers one last time. I think that was really good, and you had some really good ideas, and you're a smart kid.
Thank you.
You're going places.
I try. God, don't choke too hard.
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
For me later.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Well, let me just take a breather. All right, yeah. Yep, just like swallowed all that foam. Maybe Mug's not as good as we think.
Yeah, Barks is the way to go. Barks.
Oh, yeah. Or that's Spreckers or whatever.
That stuff's all right.
That stuff's pretty good, too. A&W, that's pretty good.
It's been so long since I've had a A&W.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's awesome. Well, all right, that's enough choking for me. So, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for your time. That was a lot of fun. I think this is actually a pretty cool podcast. I really like this one. You did very well. I know you were a little nervous, but now you're famous.
I mean, yeah, it took you how many weeks to convince me to finally get on?
Yep. Yeah, I know. And again, we talk so much that it's like, I know you got ideas in there. You're just a little shy. I got to crack that egg a little bit. And
I love to talk.
Yeah.
I love the sound.
Once I get you going, it's like you got some.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you got some good ideas up there. So I need to like sneak a mic into work and just like, sometimes I stick tape on your back and you don't notice. Maybe I got to clip a mic onto your hood.
Just like a good idea.
And I'll just start recording. I'll just ask you questions, and then there you go. I can get a podcast.
Pretty much.
All right. Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun, and everybody stay tuned for dirt bike ripping down the street. Yeah, that's this neighborhood. It's pretty cool. But stay tuned for next week. We got some good ones coming up, and hopefully you enjoyed this. A lot of fun. Thanks for joining me today, Devin.
Hell yeah.
You did a hell of a job. All right, peace.
Peace.